Sitting in her luxury car, a wealthy woman was returning home from work when her gaze locked onto a sight that shook her to the core. Overwhelmed with her emotions, she faints, only to wake up a few minutes later in the same state of shock. As the CEO of the best skincare brand in town, Isabella barely found time to spend with her only daughter, Christelle. She usually returned home from work by the time Christelle was fast asleep. The mother-daughter duo would only spend an hour together in the morning before Christelle would leave for school. Besides that, they would bond on the weekends by playing games and going for a walk in the nearby park. It was a breezy Thursday evening when Isabella managed to leave work at 5 p.m. because she didn't have any more meetings scheduled for the day. She picked up her bag and headed towards the exit, dialing her chauffeur's number. "I'm heading towards the exit," she told him as the sound of her heels clicking against the wooden floor echoed in her office's hallway with each step she took. Once her chauffeur parked her white luxury car at the exit of her office building, she walked towards it and opened the door to sit in the backseat. Excited to meet Christelle, she instructed the man to drive her home. Isabella could think of so many things to do with her daughter. She wanted to cook her girl's favorite pasta and watch a Disney movie together. Little did she know that a shocking sight awaited her near her house. As her car neared her home in one of the most expensive neighborhoods, she suddenly asked the chauffeur to stop. A girl wearing a dirty, torn dress caught her attention. She looked like a homeless girl, but something about her face didn't allow Isabella to shift her gaze. Then, Isabella's eyes opened wide, and her eyebrows arched in shock when she saw Christelle emerge from behind the homeless girl. Her daughter was begging with the girl on the street, holding her hand as they walked away from Isabella's home. "This can't be." The single mother gasped in shock as she noticed the striking resemblance between Christelle and the homeless girl. Their eyes, noses, mouths, and the shape of their faces, everything seemed to match perfectly. Just as Isabella held the car's door to open it, she felt her head spin, and her vision became blurred. Her hand went to her head, her body felt weak, and she blacked out. She fell unconscious in the backseat of her car before the chauffeur could figure out what had happened. "Ms. Montgomery?" The worried man turned around and looked at her, wondering what to do next. A few minutes later, Isabella opened her eyes. She was still in the backseat of her car, but now she was outside her house, and Christelle was sitting next to her, holding a glass of water. "Mommy, are you okay?" the 9-year-old asked her mother. Isabella looked around, trying to spot the homeless girl she had seen earlier. Then her gaze shifted to her daughter as she inspected her dirty hands and untidy ponytail. "Where were you, Christelle?" she asked. "I was playing with my friends in the park," the little girl lied. "Let's go inside, Mommy. You need to rest." Isabella did not confront her daughter at that point, despite knowing the truth. She followed her little girl inside the house, planning to visit the homeless girl in her absence. Isabella was shocked at the resemblance between Christelle and the poor girl. The following day, Isabella did not go to work after her daughter left for school. Instead, she visited the spot where she had seen the homeless girl begging with Christelle. Unsure about whether she would meet the girl, she walked around until she spotted the girl sitting in a stranded alley. "Hey you, come here." Isabella gestured for the girl to come towards her. As the homeless girl walked towards her, Isabella's heart skipped a beat watching how she resembled Christelle so much. It seemed like the poor girl was Christelle's long-lost twin. "Do you have something for me?" the girl, Lily, asked, extending her palm. Shocked after listening to the girl's voice, Isabella asked her about her parents. She thought there was a connection between Christelle and Lily and wanted to find out about it. "Does your mother live here with you?" Isabella smiled at the little girl. "No, I live with my aunt. My mother passed away, and I don't know where my father is," Lily replied while looking at Isabella. Learning about her parents made Isabella think about something that hadn't crossed her mind. What if she is actually Christelle's sister? She wondered while standing in the stranded alley. Curious about the truth, Isabella talked to Lily's relatives and learned that her mother had indeed passed away. Moreover, they had never met her father. They only knew he was a rich man who slept with the girl's mother a few times. "Oh my God!" The wealthy woman covered her mouth with her hand after talking to Lily's relatives. She could connect the dots in her mind and was sure Lily was Christelle's stepsister. All she needed to do now was to contact her ex-boyfriend, Christelle's father, who she hadn't spoken to in a long time. They parted ways soon after Christelle was born, and Isabella never asked him for child support. During the next few days, Isabella asked her ex if he knew about Lily's existence. To her surprise, her ex confessed that he had slept with a woman while he was with Christelle. However, he wasn't sure if Lily was indeed his daughter. "I can't believe this," Isabella gasped in shock. A few weeks later, the wealthy woman was sure Lily was Christelle's stepsister. She took the poor girl for a DNA test, and the results suggested she was related to Christelle by blood. Isabella went through a lot of mixed feelings. The shock of learning that she had been cheated on, and yet the joy of knowing that Christelle had a sister she clearly loved to bits. But it broke Isabella's heart to see that Lily wasn't living the lifestyle Christelle was. "I'm taking you home, darling," she said, smiling through tears at the innocent girl, and knowing in her heart that it was the right thing to do. What can we learn from this story? Empathy is important. If Isabella had not empathized with the poor girl, she would have never discovered the truth about her paternity. Always trust your gut feeling. The mother's gut feeling told her Lily was related to Christelle. Had she not trusted it, she would have never learned that Lily was her ex's daughter.